Hello, we are live. I'm Jordan Toronto, and you're watching Discover Me TV. And today we have Mr. Yoni Fogelman with me, and I'm so excited to have him. Hi, Yoni.
Hey, Miss Toronto, how you
Oh, you're
doing?
so sweet. Oh, we are. Let me just say just a little bit about what Yoni's been up to, and then we can chat about, kind of where it all stems from and where it's going. Um, Yeah. So Yoni is just 1 year out of high school, which is amazing for all he's been doing. He wrote as a young composer fellow with the LA Phil. He's now working with the Youth Orchestra of Los Angeles as the inaugural Stephen Stuckey Composer Fellow, and which means he gets to write a piece for their string orchestra, which they've already started to rehearse in Walt Disney Concert Hall. Anyway, that is just a little snippet of what's been interestingly going on with Yoni. And anyway, I'm just so happy to have you here. And I wanted to ask you. Oh, we already have somebody saying, "Yay, Yoni!" Tell.
Oh, thank you. I can't see you, but thank you.
Oh. I just wanted to say, so yeah, there are a lot of things you've been doing that I know I'm sure you're proud of and excited about and have meant a lot to you. But there's something that my mom always says to me at the end of every sort of note or text or even phone call. She always says, "Be happy, be you." And I just wanted to ask you, I know, there's a long list of things you've been doing that, are a part of what represents who you are. But what would you say makes you most happy and most you? Like using that "be happy, be you" idea.
Well, as it relates to music, it's always just writing music that I enjoy listening to,
Mm.
and that I feel like is really connecting with other people. And that's something that even I've been working on in my composition lessons because there's there's never like a pressure in any of the programs I'm part of or any of the projects I'm part of to write in a specific style. But there are some people, but people kind of start to fit into groups, and you do start to feel like you're supposed to fit into one of those groups. And so one of the things that I just always try to keep in mind is that like people will, like you or not like you for who you are, so you might as well just be true to yourself. And as it relates to music, like actually write the music that you really love and that you want to be hearing on the concert stage. I mean, that's the crazy
Mhm.
thing too, getting to sit in Walt Disney Hall and hear the Yola kids start to rehearse. Um, like one of the kind of takeaways I had from that first rehearsal was just realizing like thinking about all the time that I put in to make that piece and then to create the parts for all the individual students and stuff. I mean, if I'm putting that much effort into it, I might as well write music that I actually like, and
Yes,
that I feel like represents me.
yes. Oh, it's really well said. Oh my, yes, because really, right? You want to write what you want to hear. What inspires you. It's a very good point. And you could end up trying to fill a need that you think is true and not end up filling something that brings you joy to hear reflected back to you. Oh my gosh. I mean, it was that quite I mean, what a ridiculous question. Was that quite a moment to hear other people like no, Walt Disney Montreal stage?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. And it was so special too because it was uh the LA Phil kind of made an event out of the whole day. Me and then the other composer fellow Mia Ruman. We were just kind of there at the back end of their rehearsal day, but this was the first time that they were like all coming together to rehearse in person, like since COVID. Up until that point, Mia and I had only interacted with them over Zoom. All of their rehearsals had been on Zoom, so they were already having these like incredible moments starting to perform together, hearing each other like side by side. So
Yeah.
me and I just kind of got to be part of that at the very end of the day. And yeah, it was incredible. I mean, it's like everything feels very fragile, especially at the beginning, and they're just playing it together the first time and stuff. So it's typical of the first rehearsal. It's not exactly how you want it to sound when it's finally performed.
Sure.
But just to hear it starting to be like interpreted is so special, and you suddenly feel like it's kind of out of your hands, and it's like it's ours.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. And it's coming to life and there's more. More people involved. It's more than you even. It's more than
Yeah,
you
exactly. And
started as.
it's even more special because we're all students, you know, that we feel
Oh
like we're kind of creating it all together. And that's the title of that piece is made by and for the future. So the whole thing is really just emphasizing that we are all young, we're all working together to kind of create this this nice piece, a very upbeat, energetic piece in a better future.
oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Oh,
Thank
I
you.
love that so much. Um, can you tell me a little bit about the earliest inklings of music for little Yoni when you were growing up? Like, how early did it all begin?
um it was a mix of, my dad creating, like, CD mixtapes for me to listen to when I was really young. I mean, I remember, falling asleep at my grandparents' house, to, like, records of The Sound of Music
Oh,
and Help, the Beatles album. And I remember, like, really getting into singing, in synagogue, like, when I go to, like, Hebrew day school or go to, like, Shabbat services or something. I remember, like, really getting into the prayers and singing and stuff.
oh,
And then there are also videos, baby videos of me and my sister Adira where I was, creating mini musicals with our, you know, toy xylophones and stuff like that.
yeah.
But it kind of started to culminate, aggregate, like, in middle school because I was started taking piano lessons, and I started participating in choir at Jordan Middle School in Burbank
Yes.
under Miss Christine Demore, best choir teacher ever.
Oh, because it was like the very, I mean, that was your first intro into that exact experience, right?
Yeah.
Hmm, that's so cool. And then tell me about then, so then did you wait, were you simultaneously doing instrumental, like, I mean, were you in like two different programs simultaneously, choir and bands, or tell me about how you
Not
mixed
until
all your,
high school, not until high school.
not until high school.
I was taking piano lessons, and then I was in choir, which
Okay.
meant that in middle school, I got to be the choir student who could play piano, which
Oh,
has always served me. I mean, even at Burroughs, that meant I got to lead rehearsals, you
oh wow.
know, that meant, I was just I mean, it helps the arranging and composing. That's always been a great gift. But so I really felt like, and I still kind of feel like a choir kid who can play the piano. Um but once I was in my junior year at Burroughs, um, I stopped doing the show choir part of things and, kind of replaced it with composing outside of school and then jazz band. So
God,
once I was in my junior and senior year, that's kind of when I was in both choir and band.
wow, wow. So that was busy time, I assume.
Always.
But kind of you wouldn't want it any other way, I assume.
Yeah, I'd rather be busy than bored. That's what I always say.
Indeed. Um, oh, wow. So, I mean, you knew pretty early on some version of this kind of forevermore for me. Did you kind of know like this?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, the end goal, I think, I mean, at this point in my life, is to still score a picture, to write for film and television, and, I
Yeah,
mean, that was my stated goal since at least middle school.
wow, that's really cool.
I was decided.
That's pretty amazing and probably more decided than most at that age, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. And did you feel so it sounds like that was really a positive. Like there was never like a, oh yeah, they count on me. I'm always the guy who they know can play the piano. Like
Oh,
you
no,
always took that
I
as
embraced it.
right.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, even more than writing or performing, I don't know, I've always felt really comfortable teaching, and I mean, I tutor a lot, actually. I've been giving a lot of, like, academic tutoring and music lessons, like piano
Mhm,
and voice lessons,
mhm.
um, and I just always feel comfortable in that environment. I love teaching.
Yeah.
At Burroughs, Mr. Jennings gracefully let me, lead rehearsals when we were performing my pieces,
Oh man.
and so I could sit in front of the room at the piano and instruct and teach the music, and that's just always been my comfortable environment. So I
That's
always
beautiful.
embrace that. I mean, since middle school, I love being the guy who could be in front of everyone and plunk out parts and stuff.
That's awesome. What a wonderful thing to embrace. And then yeah, just it just probably then led to did you did you sort of naturally just fall into other opportunities that weren't even involved in school? Did you seek them out?
Kind of.
How did things kind of even evolve beyond, I guess, your academic life?
Uh, it was I mean, I did kind of cultivate all these, like, relationships for myself, but it kind of started in school, and at first, my first few years of high school, I was pretty much writing, like, choral music,
Hmm.
um, and I was kind of playing with Logic Pro X, which is a digital audio workstation where, if you have a MIDI keyboard attached, you can essentially play whatever instruments you want into it. And that's how a lot of film composers work too. They don't have an orchestra in their living rooms,
Yeah.
so they're mocking up the orchestra instruments, right, with their keyboards. So I was
Yeah.
kind of playing around with that, but uh, I wanted to go to USC to study composition, and I kind of had to grapple with the fact that I wasn't spending a lot of my time composing.
Uh-huh.
So what I did was, during my sophomore year of high school, I oh, junior year, my junior year of high school. I went down to USC and I audited an orchestration class,
Oh, wow.
um, and so kind of seeing how they talked, one, totally blew my mind and I loved it 'cause one fear was that if I went into, like, something artistic, I would have to abandon kind of, like, the analytical or, like, critical thinking skills that I've always enjoyed, like my
Oh,
English
yeah.
classes and stuff. But when I
Yeah.
went down there, I realized that everything, especially composition, can be this kind of mix of, uh, kind of logic and analysis and creativity.
Oh,
So
that's
that
wonderful.
kind of, like, assuaged me and made me really happy. But also it was all kind of a slap in the face seeing uh, how articulate and how knowledgeable these college students were about instrumental music,
Oh, wow.
and, I mean, how freaking talented they were. So that experience really kind of was like, "Okay, I need to really, really buckle down and work on this stuff." So
Wow.
while I was there, I met, one of the students in the class named Samuel Ostroff, and, after the class, I reached out to him and asked him if he'd be willing to offer me composition lessons.
Oh, wow.
So that was kind of the first bridge into instrumental music for me.
Yeah.
I was taking composition lessons with Sam, who actually just graduated, just got his undergrad, at
Mm,
USC. He just walked. Um,
that's
and,
awesome.
so he kind of caught me up to speed, uh, kind of informed me about some of these composer fellowships that I've now participated in, some, like, young composers competitions, things like that. And he kinda got me to the point where I could then participate in these programs, find, professional teachers, right? And then kind of start to inch my way into this world. Um,
That's so
a very long answer to a
No, I
question I
love
don't
that, and
entirely remember.
no, 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 that's amazing, and well, I just love to know how and like you say, how you sort of sometimes bridge those different areas of your life and how you get from A to B to, you know,
Yeah, yeah, but it was Sam who got me to the point where I could, like, apply to the composer fellowship with LA Phil, or participate in these different things. So it's all just kind of stepping stones. And I
well,
have
that's
so
very
many mentors.
influential about whether, sometimes, when you do think, okay, well, I'm on the path, I'm doing my thing, but sometimes you just have to look at like, wait, but what do I need specifically to get me, from where I am to what's next for me? And so good for
Yeah,
you
thank
for
you.
taking that next step. And then obviously that has been a stepping stone to a lot of really important things for you, right?
Mhm.
Um, in fact, maybe can we play a little bit of that? Maybe the string trio that we were talking about was coming together. Would that be
Yeah, yeah. So that was, the first piece I wrote as part of the LA Phil Composer Fellowship.
awesome?
And yeah, so I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, yay! All right. Well, I'm gonna share. Um, in fact, maybe. Oh, wait, can I just play? No, I'm gonna share. I think.
Yeah, I get it.
I know. So here we go. Ready? Entire screen. Here we go. Now, wait, we have. Um. Oh, I don't think we need to look at anything. Actually, I can just play this. Well, we'll go for we'll leave it at that for the moment. I think that's just
Yeah, yeah.
beautiful. I absolutely love that. Aw, and then yeah. So wait, so can you explain to me what I'm hearing? Is that uh I just I know this is a layperson question, but was that you like doing everything with your, or was that three was that actually a viola, violin, and cello that I'm hearing?
That was actually,
That was
violin, viola, and cello, which is the
okay,
benefit of these, different composer fellowships. It's that, like, you know, the composing process is just one part of the learning process, right? Like,
right.
it's you can only learn so much from books, right? And even from writing these notes, like, a lot of the learning process has to come from listening to real people interpret
Yes,
your music, you know?
yes,
It's
yes,
all about the performance. You need to be able to hear them play it. And that's kind of the main selling point of these music education opportunities. It's always like get kids to the point in which they can hear they can either perform music, right, or they can hear their music performed.
yes. Gosh, that is the public service announcement of the century. That's beautiful. Now,
Yeah, right.
because I remember there was a time when, yeah, I think my kid was in high school already, but I remember we were talking about how, so yeah, because let's talk about this amazing program. Oh wow, my fellow producer, associate producer Chris Young just wrote your music beautiful, challenging, and interesting. Yeah,
Thank
he
you.
and he was talking about how it was awesome to hear your story about embracing your natural talent early on. Thanks, Chris. Um, yes. And so this piece that's going to be streamed this weekend on Saturday at musiciansatplay.org, that has been an incredibly influential program for you, right? And it started when they did you actually get introduced to them through when you were still in school yourself?
Yep, exactly. So Musicians That Play Foundation are a nonprofit organization in Los Angeles who put on concerts, give master classes, and spend a lot of their time, blood, sweat, and tears, providing music education opportunities, especially for high school students and college students. And so I was exposed to them as a high school student, benefiting from their programs. They came into the Burbank schools and set up a whole Burbank-wide symphony orchestra plus choir, to do concerts for 3 years while I was in high school of film music, all conducted by Anthony Parnther, who's the conductor of the San Bernardino Symphony and who conducts most of the film scores you hear in the score. Um, and so I was introduced to them, and then they approached me and asked me if I'd be interested in being a junior board member. So I readily accepted. And that's been the last 14 or 15 months of my life. It's been attending board meetings, getting to meet the incredible people on the board, as getting to work with April Williams, who's the president, and her husband Don Williams, who's a famous timpani player. Um, and part of the junior board experience is crafting a junior board project. So that's starting this Saturday. My junior board project. There's
This
kind of two parts. There's the premiere, which you mentioned, and I mean that's been just incredible in and of itself. I wrote a piece for a clarinet and piano, and as you'll see on Saturday, I'm playing the piano. The clarinet is by the stellar clarinetist Jeff Nudell, also studio player, jazz player, classical player. He's fantastic. I know he's in the LA Symphonic Winds. I mean, he's played for the LA Opera. He's played on movies. He's fantastic.
Wow.
So we got to play that. It was a great experience working with him.
I imagine.
And the second part of the junior board project is MAP's Young Composers Fellowship. They are starting a Young Composership Fellowship for MAP, which is going to be fantastic and just another opportunity for other kids to get the same experience as I have.
So I'm going to write into the chat here. So MAP stands for Musicians at Play,
Yeah.
and people can find them at Musicians at Play, and it's musiciansatplay.org, right?
Correct.
And you can support Yoni and support MAP this weekend, and I'm sure anytime someone might choose.
Yeah, you can reserve your free tickets at that link.
Mhm.
And the applications will be open to that composer fellowship and can be found on that website as well.
Okay, that's wonderful to know, because whether you're somebody who is thrilled to support musicians and support the wonderful fellowships that they offer and all the wonderful programs they offer, or if you're a musician yourself, right? Is it for youth like ages? What is the age range of people that can apply for fellowships with them? Do you know?
I mean, I would probably say around like
I think I just looked.
e- even like 14 to 21, maybe 16 to 21.
Yeah.
It should be high
It's
school students and college students with some composition experience.
right.
One of the things that you'll find in the application is a request for a score. So and I think a recording too, which is
Sure.
pretty standard across these fellowships. So
Sure.
yeah.
So, right. So this is for people who have already been recording and have already been, have had experience.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be a source of like discouragement though.
Okay.
It's it's not to bar people per se.
Right.
And that experience does not have to be like, your first symphony as a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
To just demonstrate that you've been composing a bit,
Yes. Yes. Okay, great. No, I hear you, because it's like not meant to be a deterrent, but it's meant to encourage people who are serious about it, who are already in the process of doing this, loving this, making this part of their lives, but it's not meant to be like, hey, you already have to be a pro at this before.
Yeah, exactly. Right. What would be the point of the fellowship?
Exactly. So, right. It sounds like, and so you said your ultimate goal that you sort of knew when you were in middle school was to score film and TV. Is that right? Is that always been?
Yeah, as long as I can remember.
Are there certain people that inspire you? And I'm sure there are, but do you? I don't know. Are there highlights in your life that have made you kind of like have, I don't know, that have particularly affected you, of people doing what you love?
Well, I would say in general, what inspires me most about film, it is, you know, a lot of orchestral music that the general public will listen to. I love that, that orchestral music can still play a role in pop culture,
Mm,
because I mean, classical music was the popular music for a long time. And when during the swing era, throughout like the early and mid 20th century, and even into the 70s, with these like Chicago Earth, Wind and Fire having these big brass sections, right?
yeah.
The use of like orchestral instruments, right, whether it be in a classical or jazz medium, were a major part of popular music, right? And it's just recently that like electronic music has kind of taken over. But I love that there's still an opportunity for people to appreciate orchestral instruments, orchestral music, that people
Mhm.
will still go to concerts, and hear the best of John Williams, right?
Yes.
I mean, I just love all that, and it's an opportunity to still involve people in this live music making, live musical experience. Um,
I
so
love that.
that's I think what inspires me about it. I mean, I know that at times classical music can kind of draw people away, kind of big C classical music, whatever people's perceptions of it are,
Yes.
right? But this is, I know for a lot of people, a window into it, a
Mm.
connection. Orchestral music for the masses.
I love that. I love how you said classical music. Big C, classical music uh, can sometimes just without people even realizing that it's just sort of like this automatic thing that maybe they back off from. But I love this. I actually interviewed somebody I went to college with too at University of Michigan named Bruce Kiesling, who I think you would really appreciate. So I'll send you the link to our interview too, because he actually has a YouTube channel himself. And he talks very similarly about how, well, I don't know, he's not overly reverent or overly serious always about every bit of classical music, and loves all the variety of ways that it sort of makes its way into our lives. And I don't know, that's kind of what I thought of when I heard you talking, because there's so many sort of it's not all one thing. It's not all just something that I don't know.
And I just think it's a great medium for classical music too, because I mean, for me, like, I don't know, this is just all kind of my kind of personal takes on it all, and I also love classical music. But I focus a lot on when scores are kind of classically influenced, like kind of how they pull from that repertoire and kind of repurpose it.
Ooh,
Um,
yeah.
and I just think that I don't know, the attention can be sustained a lot when it's kind of in accompaniment with the visuals, you know, especially when it's when the music may be using techniques that are a little bit more experimental or pulled from things that are more 20th century, more like avant-garde.
Yes.
When they fit with an image that's kind of suspenseful or absurd or something, people really understand it a lot more than maybe if it's just like an auditory experience.
Oh, yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. I love that. In fact, we could also show a little clip. Didn't you? You did an assignment for with Don Williams, right? Where you did a voiceover and scored a little piece of an animation.
Yeah, yeah.
Could we show that just for a little delight for 30 seconds here?
Yeah, sure.
I think it's a fun way into it's a playful part of Yoni's composing experience too.
Yeah.
I love it. Here we go. Wait. Let's find that. All right. Sorry, here we go. Where did I put it? Here it is. Can you see? Wait, oopsie. Can you see
Yeah,
that?
I can see it at least.
Okay, wait. I'm going to yeah.
Are you sure this can't wait till morning? Stay back while I scout ahead. Guess I'll just have to go through that door. Daddy, goons! Come on, goons, come and get me. Can you give me a hand?
I love that. That delights me. So that's one way that that's not just your everyday that's not elevator music there, people. That was good fun. Oh, I love that. And then also we have a little something that you created, this delightful little opening for a friend's podcast, right? An improv.
Yeah, it is mostly improvised, maybe all improvised, I don't know, podcast called Bad Improv. I didn't think it was bad improv at all. I thought it was pretty entertaining. But yeah, it was created by my best friend Eli and our friend Wyatt. They're playing characters that have this kind of epic Dungeons and Dragons like saga that's improvised kind of throughout. I think it's a 10 episode series. And so they asked me if I would write some intro music that kind of shared like the like faux heroism, but also the kind of silliness of this show.
Yes. Well, I think I might be able to just play that
Yeah.
to it's a fun little intro. Wait. I wonder if you could just hear it through my computer if I don't even share the screen. Wait, if I just start playing this, will we hear this? Um, that's delightful. So that's what I meant to play to introduce you today. That would have been more fun to be like, and welcoming Mr. Yoni Fogelman. Pew, 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 pew.
Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, my family will still do that to me though. It's like pew, 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 pew.
Yeah. Well, I actually think that would be something that would be just fine to follow you around. No problem. He'll be this absolutely world-renowned composer, and still, when you come on to talk shows, it could be like da da da, pew, 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 to just show that you don't have to take anything too seriously.
Yeah, right.
I love that, and I think that's been a wonderful collaboration too. You and Eli, right? He's a filmmaker, right? And so
Yeah, we've
that's
worked
amazing.
together on we've worked together in his short films. This year, one of the most meaningful experiences I've had this year, and I wasn't able to share this because we have yet to have these pieces performed, but Eli is also a fantastic poet. And he wrote 3 love poems comparing love to nature, that then I set to music for SATB, soprano, alto, tenor, bass, a cappella choir, that we want to get performed so bad.
Oh, that's amazing. So it will at some point, but you just can't.
Yeah, we hope so. The first one, we know will be performed by the Pasadena Master Chorale.
Oh my God.
Um, but we want them to be performed as a set. We want all 3.
Okay,
We
awesome.
will not take no for an answer.
Excellent. That's a good way to live. And so we're waiting for the trilogy on that one, right? So
Exactly.
that's for a follow-up interview, but that's whetting your appetites for more. And maybe I'll get a chance to chat with Eli sometime too, and then we'll follow up. We'll do a big old, I don't know, maybe we'll all talk together, and I'll let everyone know when they can check that out.
Cool.
Looking forward to that. Well, I know we could talk about it even more. I don't want to make it last forever. I want you to get back to your day, but Yoni, it has been such a joy to talk to you and to learn and be inspired by what's going on with you and what inspires you. Please, I guess everybody, if possible, tune in on Saturday. Saturday evening that your piece is being streamed?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes, Saturday at 6 p.m.
Okay. Pacific, on musiciansatplay.org. And you can go, and you do need, even though it can be a free ticket, you do need to reserve your place so that you get sent the ticket, right? So that you can watch.
Correct.
Okay, so you can check out more from Yoni this Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and I know that there will be much more continuing to be coming from this man. So I am just delighted to have gotten to talk to you. Your story, your music inspires me, and I'm just excited for whatever more is to come.
Thank you. Yeah, me too.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
No, you're doing the right thing when you're excited for the more that's to come, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Well, that's so wonderful. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today, and we will
Thanks
see
for
you again.
having me on. All right, great. Thank you, Miss Toronto. It's great to see
You're
you.
the best. You can call me Jordan.
All right, Jordan. Thank you.
Thanks, Yoni. Thank you, anybody, for watching us today live, and anybody watching the replay. We're so happy to have talked to. I'm happy. I'm going to learn how to turn. By the time I'm finally not doing virtual interviews anymore, I'm going to finally know which way to point for the person I'm talking to in the box next to me. Anyway, Yoni, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for watching Discover Me TV today. I know the name. And I'm Jordan Toronto, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye. Yay.